Eye sludge. While you sleep, oil, mucus, and debris collect in your eyes and get pushed into thick sludge at the corners, which is why you wake up with that crusty buildup everyone pretends not to notice. Those are eye boogers. The scientific name is rheum, which already sounds like something you'd rather not touch. They're actually not a hygiene failure, but proof that your eyes were running maintenance while you slept. During the day, blinking acts like a constant rinse cycle. Tears sweep across the eye, flushing out dust, bacteria, dead skin cells, basically anything that wandered in uninvited. At night, blinking stops, and the rinse shuts off. But your meibomian glands keep releasing oily lubricant, so the eyes don't dry out while you sleep. With no blinking to spread it or wash anything away, that oil just sits there, while moisture slowly evaporates. By morning, what's left behind has dried, thickened, and hardened at the edges of your eyes. Too little of this process leads to dry, irritated eyes. Too much can signal inflammation or infection, and those rapid eye movements during REM sleep may even help redistribute nutrients, gently shifting fluids around so nothing stagnates. Turns out your eyes weren't being gross when you sleep. They were tolerating buildup overnight so your vision could start the day clear. Muscle breakdown. While you sleep, your muscles are actively broken down, cleaned out, and rebuilt from microscopic damage. What feels like rest is actually controlled internal destruction. When you lift weights, run, or do anything athletic, you create tiny tears in your muscle fibers. During the day, that damage just sits there. The real work doesn't start until you fall into deep, non-REM sleep. That's when your body treats those torn fibers like a cleanup site. Immune cells called macrophages and neutrophils move in, breaking down damaged tissue and clearing out debris through inflammation. This messy cleanup phase is why muscles feel sore the next day. You're feeling the aftermath of overnight tissue breakdown. Once the debris is cleared, growth hormone released during deep sleep triggers repair. New muscle cells fuse together in a process called myoblast fusion, reinforcing the fibers so they rebuild thicker and stronger than before. If you don't get enough deep sleep, that cleanup and rebuild cycle never fully finishes. Damage accumulates, soreness lingers, and muscles stay weaker than they should be. Over time, recovery slows and injuries become more likely. So the workout doesn't build muscle. Sleep does, by breaking muscle down first, then putting it back together while you're drooling on your pillow. Internal swelling. While you sleep, your body deliberately swells itself from the inside. Tissues puff up, chemical signals spike, and you spend the night slightly inflamed. On purpose. When your body drops into its deepest sleep stages, your immune system deliberately cranks up the production of inflammatory cytokines. These are chemical signals that tell immune cells when to mobilize and attack. That surge causes a low-level, full-body inflammation. Not enough to hurt you, but enough to make muscles, joints, and tissues feel heavier and sore by morning. This is why you can go to bed feeling fine and wake up feeling achy, warm, or sluggish for no obvious reason. This process matters because sleep is when immune memory is built. Cells use this window to learn what threats look like and how to respond faster next time. Skip sleep, and this overnight prep work gets disrupted. That's why people sleeping under 7 hours are about 3 times more likely to catch a cold. So if you wake up feeling like you fought in a battle you don't remember, your immune system was just rehearsing for a future fight. Saliva spill. You wake up realizing you slobbered all over your pillow, and now you're face down in a pool of your own spit. Saliva is your body's built-in biolube, a slick mix of enzymes that starts digesting food and keeps your mouth from drying out. During the day, you're constantly producing it and automatically swallowing it without thinking. Problem is, when you fall asleep, that system dozes off too. At night, saliva production drops down, your swallowing reflex slows, the jaw relaxes, and your facial muscles let go. If you're sleeping on your side or stomach, gravity takes over, and whatever saliva is left finds the easiest exit, straight out of your mouth and onto the pillow. That puddle isn't just water either. Saliva is loaded with digestive enzymes, and once it's sitting on fabric, bacteria start partying in it, breaking down proteins and producing that unmistakable wet mouth smell. You basically hosted a micro-fermentation event. As embarrassing as it feels, drooling usually means you were in deep sleep feeling relaxed. Sometimes mouth breathing from a blocked nose or sleep apnea makes it even more likely. So no, drooling isn't childish. It's what happens when your body fully powers down and forgets to close the valve. Brain power wash. While you sleep, fluid surges through your brain and flushes out chemical waste that built up during the day. It's a literal overnight rinse cycle for protein junk your brain doesn't want sticking around. All day long, your brain cells are firing nonstop, thinking, remembering, stressing, and reliving embarrassing childhood memories. That constant activity produces waste, just like a busy system. Sticky protein leftovers and chemical byproducts with scary names like beta amyloid and tau start piling up. This is where the glymphatic system steps in. It's your brain's waste removal system, and it only fully turns on during deep sleep. When you fall into that stage, the space between brain cells expands by about 60%, giving fluid room to push through and carry debris away. The fluid, cerebrospinal fluid, moves along channels wrapped around blood vessels, washing through brain tissue and dragging waste with it toward the body's drainage system. Even your heartbeat helps, gently pulsing like someone rhythmically squeezing the trigger on the power washer. Miss out on sleep, and this wash cycle never fully runs. Waste sticks and buildup happens. Over time, that grime is linked to memory loss and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and stroke. So your brain isn't shutting off at night. It's actually pressure washing itself so tomorrow's thoughts don't get stuck in yesterday's mess. Overnight shedding. While you're lying in bed, doing absolutely nothing impressive, your skin is quietly falling apart. Humans shed somewhere between 500 million and a billion skin cells every day, and a big chunk of that shedding happens at night. Every time you roll over, stretch, or drag an elbow across the sheets, loose cells flake off and drift into the bedding. That harmless-looking bedroom dust, a lot of it is actually dead skin, which is unfortunate because it also happens to be an all-you-can-eat buffet for dust mites. Your skin is like a constantly renewing tile floor. New tiles are laid down deep at the bottom layer, then slowly pushed upward. As they rise, the cells flatten, toughen, and eventually die, forming the outer layer that protects you from the world. This final shedding step is called desquamation, which is just a polite scientific way of saying your dead skin flakes off. At night, this whole process speeds up. Skin cell production peaks around midnight as your body switches into repair mode, fixing damage from sunlight and pollution. The trade-off is that your skin barrier also becomes leakier overnight, losing more water and drying out faster. That's bad for moisture, but great for skincare, because while you're molting like a reptile, your skin is more open to absorbing whatever you put on it. Disrupt this process too often, and flakes, clogged pores, and irritation start stacking up.